Hi, my name is Maarten and I'm addicted to cleaning land. So we bought some more. Last time you saw a tour of the land, Leia pointed out a piece of property that we would like to buy in the future. That future came before Christmas. One of our friends approached us with an opportunity, and that opportunity was to buy this property. It's a small little plot next to ours with an extra well on it, and a few terraces, and lots of fruit trees that are mature. So I'm currently eating or sharing together with Bo one of the clementines that hang here, or tangerines, or some sort of citrus hybrid. But the most important thing is, of course, the extra water that we have, and my opportunity to clean some more land, because this wall behind me of brambles goes all the way to the back of the property and envelops all the trees that are on there. But they are on there. I can see that from the top and from walking around it. So this is my next project for this spring, is to clear it as much as possible, so we can walk on it and actually see what we have, because there are some things to discover still, I think. The rains have passed. It's time to start cleaning our little new piece of property, and I had to repair the diff first. This thing over here, yeah, it was on its last legs or last teeth. You can hear it, and it would move back and forth, and yeah, that's pretty dangerous or it stops working after a while. I have put this blade on, which is my brush cutting blade. It's my favorite blade. It's just a piece of metal with upright corners that are wearing down, and once they have totally worn down, I'll replace it again. But you can sharpen this thing a bit, which needs to be done every once in a while. But this is really good at taking care of brambles, because it mulches everything right away, and if you use the disc with all the teeth, it just cuts it, and then you're still dealing with lots of brambles. So hopefully we can get through this jungle over there. That's the piece of property that we haven't explored yet because of what's there. Louis can explore it already. So let's see if we can find out what's there. And look at the beautiful grapevine over here. Awesome. Alright, first tank down. Well, not a whole tank, just a liter. And yeah, I'm 2/3 of the way in with the first terrace. And I already discovered some things that I would like to show you. Yeah, let's turn you around and then I'll show you what I found. So first of all, look at this beautiful wall, all mossy. This is the north side of a wall, but that's beautiful. And if you follow the sound of the water, I came across this. which to me looks like a reservoir or well, but yeah, I think it's a reservoir. Hopefully it's a well, but I don't think so, which is beautiful. And then there's another wall around here, and then on top of there, of that wall, there's another, like, some sort of super small terrace. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show you later. But more importantly, there's water coming out of here, out of the wall, or what I thought at first was the wall, but there's actually some sort of pipe. You see it? There. There's a pipe running. There's no pump. So this is just a pipe, some old plastic, and that runs down into the wall. Maybe this used to be in the reservoir over here, but I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Then there's this Nespera tree that we saw from the side in the beginning, and there's some grapevines growing around it, and some sort of metal box there, which I can't reach yet because of all the brambles. More wall. More wall. Oh. And then I saw this, which is the first of hopefully a little bit more steps up the wall, which makes me believe that this is also ours. Otherwise there wouldn't be any reason to put a step there. I think it is, but at least it's a beautiful little steps. And this is the end of it. Let's get some more gasoline. Alright, it's the afternoon, new t-shirt, same color, but after the battery died I finished up the top bit, and as I was cleaning it, it might be that we also own the terrace on top. I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. For the time being, I'll leave it like this, and maybe I'll come back and clear it up, and then we'll start using it. But there are some nice olive trees on there, and nobody's using them, so we might as well start using them. And the other thing is that in my excitement to explore, I moved all the way down that terrace, down and started cleaning from the bottom end, which is where my strimmer is now. And then of course the tank was empty, and that was also the time that I thought, okay, it's time for lunch. So it's 3 o'clock, 3:30 now. So I'm back at it for at least one more round. So I have to move all that stuff down the same route that I took with the strimmer, which is going to be exciting because it's still full of brambles and stuff. Yeah, for this I opened this up, and then I ran out of petrol or fuel. This is the width of the whole thing, but As you can tell, it's different than clearing the brambles in a field. These ones tend to climb up the trees, and it makes it almost impossible to cut them. So first because I already cut them at the bottom, I'll first try and pull them out of the tree, and then I can go over with it again with the mulcher or the rosadora strimmer. That makes it way easier to move around, and then I'll just go in further, do a next bit, stop the strimmer again and start pulling again. So this will take a lot longer, but yeah, it has to be done. Yeah, I'll show you. It's the next day. Day 2 of cleaning the new land.
Louis also busy.
Yeah. Start out with pulling down the brambles from the tree.
Yes. So this one's massive.
Yeah, this is a massive tree.
It's become very tall. We're still debating if they just let it grow so tall, or if it really hasn't been used for very, very long. But it's, let's say 5 meters, 6 maybe even.
Well, 2. I think it might be on the top. It might be 8.
We'll settle for 7. And the brambles come at least halfway. So, yeah.
Yeah, you have to just pull them down.
Too high for the strimmer, so you have to pull them.
And the technique for pulling them without getting the brambles in your fingers or hands constantly is to use the friction of the leather. Let them stick into the leather and then pull. So don't hold on too tightly. Yeah, it works fine. It's not perfect. You do still get stung sometimes, but that's fine. Bring your wife so she can hold the camera and not do anything. Important. liquid gold goes in. Don't let it evaporate, costs you euros. The oil is thicker than the rest, so you have to swirl it around a bit for the last bit, so you get everything out. Duct tape. Very important role in keeping this tight. Yeah. Music, important. I used to have a better one, but I learned that it doesn't really make sense to invest in these type of things because they all break eventually. Alright, it's time to switch up because I'm done with the trimming, or mostly. As you could probably tell from the time lapse, this behind me is those are two big branches of olive tree that come from that olive tree. That shows you the power of the brambles. They pull them down. And then at some point, it's not necessarily the weight, but it's the they get entangled in themselves, and it can create quite a lot of force, pulling force when they get entangled, and they'll just pull down a perfectly healthy branch. They'll pull it down when they have enough leverage. The good thing is that there's already a new one growing out from the stem that is broken off, or from the cut, the break. But it makes it very hard for me to go through it with the strimmer. This stuff is all dead, so that's quite easy even with the strimmer. But I'll have to come back with the chainsaw and cut this all up for hopefully some firewood, if it's still decent. And the rest of it is now a matter of pulling everything down. There's nothing connected to the bottom. At some points you can easily pull it down, but the thing is that especially when they're still green, it's very tough to pull them down, so you have to be able to move around and pull from a different direction so that they come loose from the foliage mostly, and the little branches. Yeah, I'll take a break, and then after that I'll start pulling down the branches, and I'll put the camera, up somewhere so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, I saved this bit till last because I was worried about the well that's here and how accessible it is for Puck. So I decided to leave the brambles on that side so that she can't come through here and down here. And on this end there's a big trench that she can't get over with her tiny little legs. So that's why I do this, and yeah, I have to make a fence around this well, but that's another time to make it safe, because this is one of those that doesn't have a wall around it and it's just a hole in the ground, and it's not that deep, but yeah, I'd rather not have anyone fall or any animals fall into that well. Okay, the first clean is done. I've finally unpacked our Christmas present. The goal of this clean was to find the borders of the land and see what is on the land already. And what we found is 14 olive trees on 6 terraces, of which 2 are smaller and 4 are quite large. We found 2 orange trees, of which 1 has still the graft growing. A mandarin or clementine tree, 2 apple trees, a fig, and most importantly a loquat tree. The thing that we already knew was on the land was a well, but we found a second water point on the top, which might be a well or a reservoir, we don't know, but it's full of water. So we'll clean that in a different video because that will take some time. And now I will walk you up the land and show you all the terraces and yeah, how beautiful it is. Come along.
Kom maar.
Ja, je kan het wel. You couldn't see the other side on this terrace. On pretty much all the terraces you couldn't see the other side. I found that was mainly because of this massive olive tree here, of which which had 2 branches stretching all across the terrace. So I cut that down and started a pile of firewood. And it's a smaller terrace in between the 2 larger ones. Alright, the intermezzo where we show you all the stuff and random things that we found on the land while cleaning it. Of course, this land has been used in the past, so there are leftovers from past users. We'll start out with what the farming tools that I found. This is an old enxada or Dutch hoe, which is apt. And some old, an old bucket that I found next to the well with another enxada left over in there. On a rope. It was not in the well, but the bucket is completely broken and can't be used to hold water anymore. This one is also quite old. It's also deteriorating. I think this was used by some hunter to get some water, because it was next to a lot of shotgun shells. Another thing we found is a metal cable. I don't know if that's in frame, but a metal cable with a bucket attached to it, or at least close to it, with leftovers from a mouse living in there. It's weird because these I usually see them at noras, those things that we have on the big well on the bottom of our land, which it didn't have. So maybe in the past it was moved to this land. I don't know. For all your drinkers out there, you recognize this bottle from being an old Smirnoff bottle. So yeah, it took Leia 5 seconds to recognize this shape. Yeah, there's a must on a Portuguese land to find old shoes or boots in this case. I would say these are still in pretty good shape. That was because they were underneath all sorts of debris. Maybe Puck will grow into them one day, I don't know. And an old watering can, or what's left over from it, and an old bucket that can no longer be used as a bucket. I think this was close to the metal cable. I think this was part of that system. An old rag. I don't know what this is, but a hook. Or maybe this was to hang the bucket on, I don't know. An old pan. And if anyone knows what this is, they can leave it in the comments. I don't know what this is for. It doesn't have a bottom. Maybe, no, I really couldn't tell you. And an old gas canister. That, yeah, or maybe an oil filter. Yeah, I think this is an oil filter, looking at it a little bit closer.
And the
rake?
ja?
The rake is ours.
Ja, oké, maar misschien kunnen we iets over zeggen.
Well, the rake broke. The handle broke. What else do you want to know?
The casualty of this project. Yeah, but...
Yeah, the other casualty are a few of my shirts that are, well, have holes in them. But that's okay.
Okay.
So this was the easiest terrace to clean because this doesn't have any trees on there. It must have been used for just garden crops in the past, because this is, yeah, was just, the brambles were just this high, so it's easy to clean. In the corner there's the water point and a beautiful moss wall. It's north facing. There are two more terraces on top of here, which are the small olive tree terraces. Yeah, with some beautiful steps in the wall. So this terrace is smaller, but runs across the whole property line, or along the whole property line, and has 4 bigger olive trees on there. And then there's this one right at the top with 2 more olive trees, but it's a smaller one, but high. So all in all, I'm very happy that we bought this land. I think that we could have waited a few years to do this, but we were approached by the owners, so I think, yeah, it's when it comes, the opportunity arises, you should take the opportunity and buy what you can. Now that we know what we have, we can think of what we want to do with it. We will enjoy all the fruit that's already growing on there. on here, and the water is a very nice security feature for our water security, and it gives peace of mind, especially in a dry year such as this year. So yeah, I would do this again.
Would recommend.
Yeah, would recommend. Okay, thank you for watching. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see updates on what else we will find on this land and what we will do with it in the future. I hope to see you next week. Bye.